Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer some information about what's coming up with this new moon in Leo, and then we'll also do some oracle and runes for the elements, kind of giving you an idea of what areas are lighting up for you in the upcoming lunar cycle. So a new moon basically is the beginning of the next lunar cycle. The moon went from fullness all the way down. Now we're back into the dark of the moon is another term. This is a good trigger for new starts, new beginnings, things shifting into a more open environment. Like, what opportunities are available to you right now? There's also this energy of self-reflection. This is where we can journal, figure out what we needed to learn, maybe what kind of chaos, because that's kind of how it feels right now, was going on in the last lunar cycle. What can we work on? And then start to set your intentions and goals reflecting that information being brought forward. There are some downsides with any of the lunar stuff, especially if you're one of the water signs in particular. You're going to feel these a little more intensely, but a new moon is going to trigger that feeling of just being tired for no reason. You're sleepy, like if you sit down to watch a movie, you pass out first, so be aware that that is a thing. But also you'll notice that during the new moon energy, even when you do sleep, it doesn't feel that effective. It's more like, I slept all night, what is going on? And you'll still feel pretty, like, tired type of a thing. So it's not something you want to just pass off as like, oh, I just must need another cup of coffee. There could be more going on. The lunar energy especially really does affect us as humans. So there are a couple of things coming up specific to this particular new moon. One, we are currently in the midst of Mercury retrograde, so that's always exciting, because it usually means technology decides to take a flying leap off of a cliff somewhere. But the upside from that is it also gives us some time, again, to tap in, to reflect, to find humor in situations that otherwise could be a little chaotic. A lot of the times what I've personally found when Mercury's in retrograde, communication gets wonky, but if you have a sense of humor about it, you can actually fix the problem pretty quickly, because once you start laughing, it breaks up the negative, which allows you to communicate a little more clearly, even if it is total gibberish that comes out at times. So we've got that going on. Plus, we are in, just one second. Need a little coffee today. Plus, we're in the middle of a little bit of solar arguments going on here, and this is going to be going live on the 24th. Video is. So on the 24th, the sun decides to go trine, which is an interesting word. We'll get, like I said, I'm not doing astrology, we're just going to go over some terms. But the sun trines Saturn and Neptune, which is a mixed message from everything I've read online. Basically, it's two supportive groups with Saturn and Neptune, but they're both hanging out in Aries, which is weird because the sun's now in Leo, and so is the moon currently. So you've got this interesting energy of fire, very much a fiery aspect coming forward. So you fire signs, you're going to be glowing a little bit brighter, especially if you're Aries or Leo. Sagittarius, you're not left out, but it's not going to be as bright for you. You'll still burn, but not like the other two do. This helps bring in some inspiration. It allows you to take these concepts that you've been working on, because Aries is great at starting things. Leo is the kind of a powerful leader, very charismatic. So this is going to help you bring these concepts, these ideas, the things swirling in your vortex, so to speak, and anchor them into the physical. So with that being tied into this energy of the new moon, this is a good time to start making physical plans for the things that you've been working on, the things you've been thinking about, that new business, that new relationship maybe, whatever it is. This is a time to start making the physical shifts to bring that into a reality for you. During this time, specifically on the 24th, there's a heightened level of productivity. Your creativity might be a little more intense, which is great if you're doing the journaling and you're trying to understand more about yourself, what direction forward and back you're going. This can actually show you a little bit more of that detail with that creative spark. giving you the ability to see and sort of into the future and where you actually want to be headed. You can plan this out for 28 days, or since we're in July, you can plan it out for the rest of the year, which goes into December. So there's a lot of interesting energy going on right here. But the other part here, and I love the fact that this one website still references Pluto as a planet, because the sun opposes Pluto. But this is going on in, what did I say here? Aquarius. I only put footnotes, sorry. And this actually causes a little bit of a struggle, especially when you have the positivity of the sun with Leo and all of that, because when the sun opposes someone like Pluto, tying it into that air sign of Aquarius, there's a little bit of a power struggle. Leo is able to deal with this, so this is actually not a big deal here, but you also get to deal with the flare-ups of ego. Your own might be like popping up going, hi, you haven't let me run around for a while, and you're like, oh no. So this is one of those times where it's a good idea to take a step back from situations. If you start feeling like there's a confrontation, if it's something that you can step away from, obviously if you're in a leadership role or a management role, that's going to be a little more of a challenge, but it's definitely saying, don't react just yet. See what's going on. Keep that ego in check and allow yourself to actually see the broader situations, because there's going to be a little bit of intensity here. And it also is saying this is a time to really examine what's going on with your shadow. And this is all going on within this one day, so it could be a little, everyone's going to get a different experience here. Because when your shadow is popping up to being like, ego move, we got things to talk about, it's generally because there's something in your shadow that is being brought forward. It could be a fear, especially with the new moon being a little bit darker. It allows you to examine the things that are in the dark without as much fear, or without as much, what's someone else going to think if they see it? Well, you're in the dark. You can look at it without other people knowing. So that's kind of where this is coming from. And that actually helps you understand how you show up in the world. But by understanding that aspect, you also start to realize that power dynamic that could be popping up with a little bit of that pushing their boundaries or coming into conflict. Why is that happening? Your shadow is going to have the answer to this if you're willing to be quiet and listen to what's being said or being shown to you, depending on how your intuition pops up. And what the aspect here with the solar aspect coming into this new moon is, be authentic with yourself. Be honest. Even if it's a little bit of a sting, like tearing the band-aid off really fast, it's better to be honest with yourself and be true to yourself and actually see what's happening. That way you can fix the problem. If you're going to try to be, a little shady about it, or, well, that can't be me, that has to be someone else. If you're going to go that way, it's going to rebound on you, guaranteed. Just because of the way the universe likes to put things in balance. And right now, we're in a transitional period. The planet is, humanity is. We're shifting out of, you can pick your term, the third density into fourth density. We're shifting dimensions, which is within the densities. We're moving out of the age of Kali into the age of Dwapara, which we're in the last few years of that as well. So there's a huge shift happening. All of these things are lining up. So our generations here, it's basically the last of the boomers up through the Gen Alpha now, we're in the period of transition. We get to see all this chaos taking place, but there's a light to the other side of this, and that's where we're going to come out. And that's why a lot of this stuff is being more it's more triggering for us, is it's time for us to understand we can't keep going the way we were. We have to shift. We have to grow. We have to understand this meat suit that we're carrying and all the little aspects, and that's what the planetary leaders, intelligences, are influencing right now. They're wanting us to wake up a little bit faster. So when you have this collection of chaos coming from the solar side, which is going to be very open, very dominant, very aggressive as far as that goes, that's the way the sun is. It's always more intense and bold. We're also looking at the more gentle aspect of the lunar side, which still is in Leo, so we're still working with that fire energy. And with fire and water being at conflict, because the moon is water, Leo is fire. So we've got a little bit of that, dynamic. But this one's actually more supportive, more passive than that. So it's actually, they're coming into balance in a healthy way. So this is good. It means your subconscious won't be fighting while the rest of the world is. This is called the Leo new moon is calling in fresh starts, new beginnings, obviously. But it's also specifically wanting you to understand it's how you express yourself. So even with Mercury being retrograde right now, which self-expression or communication can be a little bit interesting, the Leo energy is actually bolstering you. It's actually bringing you into a place where you can communicate and overcome the Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde to teach us. It's not just about negativity, although I usually play it off as it is. It's about education. What happens when you can't speak things correctly? How else do you communicate? What happens when your computer crashes or something goes wonky with your job or your computers at work? Can you still work around that? So it's an education aspect with Mercury, which is great, but that also is a little frustrating at times. The other aspect of this Leo in full new moon is it could trigger a new start for romance. If you happen to be in a relationship, this could be a little more of a deepening of that connection. And if you happen to be single, it could be triggering, again, this is general, but it could be triggering that aspect of, I think you're ready. And if you're not, maybe we can see how we can fix this to make it more open so that you can receive the love that you actually have been looking for. And again, that ties into your creation, your passions, so things that are going to light you up. And that's what this new moon is calling for, because Leo is all about being charismatic, being the leader. But you have the new moon saying, let's look at this from a subtle place. What do we need to reset, realign? What needs to be tweaked a little bit to open these doors? Like, you're almost there. You just have that one, like if you're picking a lock type of a thing. You have that one, like, last tumbler you have to click. And that's what this new moon is saying. What's the last tumbler for you? What's going to flip that lock and open the door? So this is calling for this energy to release. Everything is set up. There's been a build-up for you. And I know from looking back at the past few months' readings, the general readings anyway, for the elements, there's some things that are opening up. Some elements are doing really well. Others, it's almost like there's a tension building. And that's what this is saying. What can we do in this time period to trigger things to open up for you? And that's the energy that's coming up here, whether it's, getting that passion to light up where you just feel alive. And again, passion, when it lights up like that, is a temporary thing, but it can open the door to real love, and that's a long-term thing. So you're looking to, how can I trigger that? And that will also set you up to be in a relationship healthily. But also, if you're starting a business, you're starting a project, how can you lead the next set? How can you bring this into full manifestation? So your Leo leadership comes in, and this is a very powerful time for you. And you've got this energy of Saturn and Neptune. So if you are Earth, I think it's Earth and water, you are really in a good place because the sun is shining on you. It's working with some of your home energies. Be aware that Saturn can be very stern, but there's a reason for it. I always joke about Saturn being the grumpy father or the stern disciplinarian, because Saturn wants the best for you, but we're not playing around. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to do it now. And that's that discipline aspect that's tying into Leo here. The Neptune one is the mysterious. That's where you're getting into your subconscious. That's that new moon energy of, okay, the outside world's doing its thing. What are we doing in here? What's going on inside? How can we adjust our thinking? Instead of saying things like, I'm just not good enough for that. No one's going to like what I'm doing. No one cares. This is where we step in with Neptune saying, but that's not true. Let's look at things from the spiritual level. You've put your time in. You may not be where you want to be yet. None of us are. But this allows you to grow. Where I'm at right now is where I'm at. I want to get here. But where I'm at is so much further than where I have been. So I'm actually in a good place. This allows yourself to grow. This allows you to see things from a different perspective. Neptune's mysterious. It's very much about the deep part of the water, the deepest heart of the ocean, if you will. So when you look at it from that perspective, things move a little bit slower there, but they're no less powerful. It's just a matter of shifting how you're viewing it. Yes, you're not where you want to be, but you're where you're supposed to be. And that gives you the opportunity to find the next steps to bring you closer to where you're going. So this is this energy that's going on right now. It's a very powerful energy. It's a very strong energy. And it's really saying, do some self-reflection, see where you're at, and then allow yourself the blessing, the joy, the excitement of claiming the next step, of claiming, I'm going to lead in my life. I'm not going to be a passive follower anymore. You've got a lot of positive energy going on here. There's a little bit of confusion, but that's coming from the shadow bringing up some things that maybe need to be sorted, allowing you to open that door, to flip that last tumbler and unlock the gate, basically. So let's take a peek at some oracle cards and a little bit of runes for each of the signs, kind of give you guys a little idea of what could be going on behind the scenes, maybe. We'll start off with our fire energy, and fire covers Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And we're going to pull as we go. So we'll just pull all the cards and runes to start. I'm sorry, a little behind on some of these, but I'd rather do it while we're in the video versus later on, because that's no fun. Or doing it beforehand, because then you never know if it was scripted or not. But it's not how I work. So your rune fire is I believe this is the Rado rune. Like I said, I'm not super good with memorizing all of these because there's, not a lot, but enough. And it is the Rado rune, which is an emphasis on a long journey on horseback, or just in general, long journey. Colors bright red, tarot association is the Hierophant, and the astrology is Sagittarius. So this rune's actually tapping into fire very distinctly. Physical journeys, pleasant ones, journeys that bring positive development, and this is also an energy of spiritual growth and spiritual journeys. So fire, you're starting off really wanting to move forward in this new moon energy, and it's saying it's time to look around. Where are you headed? Because you've got some journeys ahead of you, saying there's going to be some long-term projects. It could be physical travel, it could be spiritual travel, but there's some long-term things, and the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. That's where you're at, fire. That's what this energy is coming in, is where are you headed? This is a good time for you to understand or maybe examine what direction you're heading in life. So your Queen of the Moon Oracle card is the Beaver Moon with creation. So fire, you're coming into this energy of the creative ability, the creative consciousness. You have 39 is your number. And this is a time for you to really don't look at things from the normal perspective. Don't look at things from, well, this is how it's always been. This is the only way we can do it. Fire, this isn't for you. You're the one who's going to break the mold. Fire, you're the one who's going to change the perspective. You're the one who's going to do it a different way, even when everyone else is like, that will never work. Well, have they tried it, or are they just going by what they think? Because if they've never tried it, they don't know. So this is kind of where your energy is going to step up. And your message from Gabriel is let go. Release the desire to control the situation. Leave it up to God's infinite wisdom to resolve everything beautifully. They're really saying, when you start tapping into creation, things happen so simply that you don't have to force it. It's just going to go. And that's letting it go. You're the one that's kind of in charge, but you don't have to be the one that's in control. You're pointing the ship. How fast it goes is up to the divine, up to your guides. And that's where this is saying, is your soul's journey is not as simple as, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold tight to the reins. But that's not your energy coming up here. This is a journey, the long journey. There's a lot of things in play here. You're creating something different. So you create it, and when you do, you release it. You let it go into the universe, and then you see how the universe magically, we'll use that word, manifests and brings it into alignment for you. And this is how you're going to show up in the month of, or with this new moon energy, is you're going to get everything started, and then you're going to ride the ride of life. You're going to enjoy every minute of it, because you're going to step into this beautiful creative space where the universe aligns for your best interests. And there might be some lessons along the way, so it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies, but it's definitely going to be what you need in the moment. So let's hop over to our Earth family, and Earth is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And Earth, your rune is the Kano rune, which is torch or fire. I'm pretty sure that you guys had a reading here recently where Earth and fire, I think it was just this last Sunday actually, where Earth and fire were actually working in tandem with each other, really building and supporting. So you're still tapping into that energy, Earth, as you're working with your fire family. Color is light red, tarot association is the Chariot, and astrology is Venus. Sorry. Creative fire, artistic impulses, passion, and Earth, you have a little bit of amorous energy popping up here. So you could be creating something like some family, or maybe getting into a deeper aspect of a relationship. They're also saying that with the Chariot energy, things are going to start moving quickly for you, which may seem a little bit like, I can't do this. Earth, you've put things in play, and this is just saying here's the next steps, but these next steps are going to happen pretty quick. So if there is some fear of the next step or fear of the speeding up, that could be where your shadow's bringing something up and being like, hi, let's work through this. So some things to think about there. Your goddess of the moon, or queen of the moon, oracle, sorry, is the flower moon, and it's the blossoming energy. Earth, the energy of this particular full moon is calling you to bloom. You've planted, you've watered, you've nurtured, everything's growing, and now the next step is to blossom, to bring it into full manifestation, to reveal what you've been working on. And that's where this Kano energy is also tying in, is this is an energy of courage. This is an energy of expansion. This is an energy of revelation. You've done all the prep work. Now it's time to bring it to the forefront. Now it's time to show the world what you've been doing, whether the world's everybody or just your own little corner of the internet, your own block, whatever it is. This is the time where, okay, I can do this. I've done all the things. I've got everything ready. Now it's time to bring it forward. Start the business. Put out the sign. Put the advertisement in the paper or on the internet or whatever. Propose to the person. Everything's in place. Now it's the next steps. Your message from Gabriel is the birth energy, new life, a baby idea, happy news, or an exciting project blossoming within and around you. Okay, I'm going to hold these both up because that was kind of ironic. Your birth energy is where something is coming into fruition. You're blossoming in both of these cards. And that's really a positive aspect where you're bringing in this creation. You've done all of the prep work. If we're talking a baby, we're talking 40 weeks. It's 9.5 months or so. So you've done all this prep work. You've done all the things behind the scenes. Now it's time to bring it into fruition. And that's where you're at, Earth, is how are you going to bring this into fruition? What aspect of life do you need to work on to bring it into fruition? This is not a simple thing that you've got going on here. You've put a lot of effort into building the relationship or getting everything behind the scenes prepped for the business, getting inventory, getting all of those, extra pieces, bits and bobs. Your next step for this next lunar cycle is really about you saying, okay, universe, I've got to here. I'm going to put my faith in the next steps. I'm going to put my faith in God's source divine, in my guides and guardians, and I'm going to step forward as the gates open, as the next steps show up. I will do the things that I am supposed to do as this occurs. So, Earth, you're in a good spot. Again, look for those signs in the next steps. Pay attention to what your shadow's bringing up, because that's actually going to help you reveal kind of where your blocks are going forward with this. So let's hop over to our air family. Before we go to air, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. If you feel comfortable with it, you can put your intentions down there, and then we can support each other by sending positive energy and positive thoughts to those intentions to help everyone bloom and prosper as they are looking to. We're here to grow and become more spiritual beings, so let's work together. Also, if you have a different opinion or intuitive guidance on the cards, feel free to drop that down below as well. It's always interesting to hear what other people have to say. So air, which covers Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, your rune is the word rune, which is the rune of fate. It is a blank rune. It means mystery, fate, the unknown, having trust, and faith. So in reality, what we're getting with the blank rune here, air, is you've set everything in motion. You've reached the apex, and now you push the ball or the rock or whatever it is over the hill, and now it's rolling, meaning you can't stop what's happening. But the universe is actually working with you. You've done all the prep work, and now with this new moon energy, it's saying this is where things really start to happen. So you're actually in the process of manifestation. It's not the next step is manifestation. You're in the midst of this. So what I'm hearing for now for air is, what can you do to enjoy the ride? Because the ride's going at this point. Are you going to panic and white knuckle the side rails and be like, what did I just do? Or are you going to put your hands up and be like, woo, we're getting to go? Because like roller coaster stuff. This is where you're at, is things are moving. You're in the process. It's not a beginning stage for you. You're in the midst of everything. So this is saying that it's going the way you anticipated. It's going the way you planned. Just keep an eye on how things are playing out. Make sure everything, if it needs a bump here and there, just to stay in line. But it's going. It's already at play. So, your, cannot remember the name of this deck to save my life. Queen of the Moon Oracle card is the Waxing Crescent number 5, Nourishment. As things start to move forward here, air, don't neglect your personal nourishment, but also the nourishment of your project. Make sure it's getting the proper attention it needs, the proper time. Make sure you're guiding things along the path. The number on this one is 7. So this is a perfection number, meaning you're in the right place at the right time. Things are actually connecting for you, whether it's that new relationship that you have finally popped the question, they said yes, and oh my goodness, now I have to plan a wedding, or it's in that I just put out the advertisement, I just opened the business, I just accepted the promotion, whatever it is. Don't forget to nourish yourself physically and the path ahead. Keep that intention and the intuition in the right level of guidance, so you're clear on what it is you're doing. So there's not a lot of confusion or what ifs or am I doing the right thing, or whatever it manifests as. This is really about you stepping into this authority and enjoying the ride, but also making sure to do the actions of self-care. So your message from Gabriel is inspiration. Your idea is divinely inspired. Action accordingly is set in motion. So you're in this position of what you have done, and you might have a little bit of fear going on because now things are just happening. Like you've done all the prep work, you released it, and now it's, oh my goodness, what did I just do? And that's where the inspiration comes in. The inspiration is, you did the right thing. This is where you're supposed to be. Now it's time to guide it. You're bumping it back and forth, making sure it's staying in the path that you want. If it starts to veer too much one way, you start to, rein it in a little bit. But everything's moving in that healthy stage for you. Your message really is to stay inspired, follow your intuition. If something is getting a little bit too out of control, pause it, bring it back down where you can deal with it, and move forward again. And that can happen with anything. That can happen with a relationship where it goes from love and passion into infatuation. It can go from a business where you were doing really good and all of a sudden you can't keep up with orders. You have the ability, air, to rein that in and use your inspiration and your guidance to help you with that. There's also this energy, and I'm not sure what they're meaning here. There's also this energy coming forward for air that you're going to be the inspiration for others. You're going to be the guiding force, whether you realize it or not. Someone is watching. Someone specific is watching you to really see where you're at. What are you doing? How are you dealing with this? Because they're curious because they want to start their path, their journey. And the only way for them to do that is to get inspired from someone who's been there and done that. Well, air, that's you. You've been there. You've done that. And now, because of your success and how you handle those little hiccups along the way, those energies that need to be buffered or reined in a little bit, because of how you're responding to that, this is allowing you to inspire others. Again, whether you realize it or not, air, you're kind of being a good example about things going forward. So this is a very healthy, happy energy that I'm seeing. So air, set your intentions, enjoy the ride because you're already on the ride is what I'm getting for this particular new moon energy. So let's hop over to our water family, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all of our fishies out there. And your rune is one of the, I believe, Elder Futhark here. It is Uraz, and it is color of dark green. Tarot association is the High Priestess. Astrology is Taurus. So water, you're working with some foundational energy here. And that's also bringing in some of your Taurus energy family. So if you are in a relationship with a Taurus, or you have Taurus around you or somewhere in your charts, this is going to actually be amplified right now for you. It's creative power, wisdom, knowledge, good fortune, opportunity, and air, water. If you're tied to earth in any way, your more amorous exploits are going to be enhanced this month, or this next month, because the energy that's coming in with this new moon is this creative energy. It's triggering some passion. But for water, you're tied into your emotions more, so this is going to build a level of intimacy between the two of you. It could reignite that passion. If things have been a little quiet here lately, this could be a way to inspire a deeper connection for you. It's going to be physical, but they're also saying that it's that connection with spirit as well, because your spirit with the Taurus or earth energy spirit that you're working with is actually going to be taken to a deeper level. So your creation is starting off from a very passionate state. Your Queen of the Moon Oracle, I almost had it, is the new moon with beginnings. You're at a gateway of opportunity here, water. You're at a gateway of new beginnings. This energy of, what am I creating? You're in the process of changing. You're in the process of actually changing the trajectory of your life. This is no longer just a tra-la-la through the tulips energy. This is your gateway. Notice the world around you right now has kind of been meh. It's gotten a little boring, a little mundane. But when you go through the gateway, you're actually entering into magic. You're entering into a different perspective. You're in this process, or being offered this process of changing your life for the better. How this manifests is up to you. This is the number 2 in the deck, here at the top, if you can see that with reflections. And that is really, the number 2 is a duality. This is where things come into balance, come into perspective. So water, you're in this really beautiful energy. If it's within a relationship, you're definitely going to take things a deeper relationship there. But there's a lot of creation that's around you. You're kind of in a... They keep showing me this field that is just exceptionally fertile in the plants. Like you can just scatter seeds and plants just explode. So you're in this area of mass fertility. Whatever it is you're going to start next is going to grow very rapidly because you've done the groundwork. Other people may not even see what you've been doing. They have no idea what's been going on behind the scenes. But you've been prepping the proverbial bed. You've been tilling the soil, you've been fertilizing it properly, you've been getting all the weeds out, you've been doing all the things behind the scenes that now when you start planting whatever it is you're creating, it's going to explode. It's going to become better than what you thought because you've put the effort into the foundation. So water, you're in a beautiful spot for creation right here. So let's look at your message from Gabriel, which is allow yourself to receive. Open your arms to welcome the blessings and answered prayers that God is sending to you now. So when we look at this card, what we're really getting is you've laid the groundwork. You've done all the prep work. Water, are you ready to receive what you have put out? Asking it to receive, ask and it is given, but you have to ask, believe, and then allow yourself to receive the blessings. You've done the first part, and you've done the second part. You believe it's going to happen, but are you opening your arms to the blessings? Are you saying, yes, bring me what I've asked for? And I'm not saying this in an egotistical way. It's more of, yes, I am worthy of accepting this. Yes, I've put in the effort. This is the balance of that. Effort equals reward to a certain extent. Are you willing to say, I am good enough to accept this? I know a lot of people in the modern world, they were raised in a very generally strict Christian household where to deny the physical form is what's required. But that's really not, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because we're meant to live here to thrive, and as we thrive, we help others thrive. But we've been taught that we're so bad most of the time, and that makes it hard for us to receive blessings. And this is where we can look inside and be like, actually, this is what I've worked for. This is where I've headed. This blessing allows me to continue growing. Therefore, I can actually help others as well. So it's not just about you. It's about the flowing out and continual motion of energy, because energy becomes stagnant, becomes toxic. So you want to keep this positivity flowing. You want to keep this energy moving. Don't stop at ask, believe. If you're not willing to receive, what's the point? And that's what this is bringing forward. You're at the precipice of a new life, water. You're at a precipice of a great deal of change, a great deal of expansion. Just remember, you have to be able to receive it, or else it's just going to sit there on the other side of that wall saying, open the door, please. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your month. Celebrate the new moon. Look into your reflection. Find out what your shadow's saying. This is where some issues might be. This is a block, or this is a gift that you forgot about, because your shadow holds all of that. Allow yourself this new beginning. Think about it as, this is a new start to my life. This is a new start to my year. And yeah, it's a 28-day cycle, but you're at a new beginning. And you are the one with the pen in your hand, the paintbrush in your hand. What are you going to do to create something more spectacular? So with that, I will let you go. Have a great rest of your month, and I'll see you in the next video.